y'all please rise and I'll ask Ms. Doherty to lead us in the pledge, and after she does that, would you please stay standing for a moment of silence, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Call the meeting to order and would like to ask for the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to do that, please?
So moved.
Have a motion to approve the agenda. Can I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. The agenda is approved. Second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those minutes are approved. In the recognition section of our agenda, Mr. Carter, the KTN drawing card, please.
Mr. Chairman, we have a couple of students at Elton Knob that have been featured in the Kingsport Times News drawing card. Caden Grace, 2nd grade at Elton Knob, and Destiny Fleener, 7th grade student at Elton Knob. And we'd like to congratulate those students for having their artwork published.
Thank you. Under item B, schools with the highest percentage of attendance.
The highest percentage of attendance for the month of August goes to Rose Hill Elementary School with 97.02. Second place is Thomas Walker High School with 96.11%. I would like to also say that September is Attendance Month, or Attendance Awareness Month, which is a nationwide recognition of the importance of attendance on the development, learning, and student achievement. Regular attendance in school is important for children's success. Research suggests that chronic absenteeism in preschool can predict chronic absenteeism in the later grades and consequent risk for academic underachievement. So we would like to recognize the schools that have had the highest percentage of attendance for the first 2 weeks of school, first month. This year we do have an attendance trophy that we're going to present to each school each month that has the highest percentage of attendance. It says Lee County Public Schools Attendance Award. So each month we will take this trophy and pass it from school to school based on their recognition or their achievement of the highest percentage of attendance. So that's something we'll pass to Rose Hill for the first month, Rose Hill for the first month, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Thank you. Public expression part of our agenda. Would anyone like to address the board on any issues? Too early in the school year, I guess. We'll close that section then and move on to our reports. Need a report on the Pennington Middle School, the storm damage and repair, Mr. Carter.
Just want to let the board know that we're working to replace the roof. They actually started 1 week ago today, and they believe that it'll take them probably another 3 weeks. So hopefully in about 3 weeks we will have a new roof as well as new windows in the building to take care of the storm damage from the hailstorm.
Any questions, comments? Under item B, 2014 VSBA Annual Convention, November 19th through the 21st. Mr. Carter.
Just want to remind the board that the Virginia School Board Association Convention will be held on the 19th through the 21st.
Okay, Mr. Carter, would you report on the enrollment, please?
Okay, the enrollment at the end of August was 3,148 students. That is down 24 students from the previous month, which would be when we closed school in June. It's down 59 students from this same period last year. Would like to say that we're still working to try to locate some of the students that are no-shows, and I think Ms. Darty just told me today we found a couple, so hopefully that attendance and enrollment number will be climbing some.
Okay. The finance report, Denise, please.
Excuse me. Good evening. This is a summary of our financial activity for the month of August. We received total revenues of $2,273,150.45. From the state, we received $1.9 million. Federal revenues and reimbursements totaled $27,282.73. Local revenue was $5,193.03. And insurance revenues totaled $321,848.98. As of the end of August, we've received 12.25 of our estimated revenues for the year. Our expenditures for the month of August, our total was $1,507,595.95. General fund made up $1,061.03 of that. Title I payroll and accounts payable totaled $46,688.24. Head Start payroll was $91,737.33, and insurance payments totaled $369,109.35. As of August 31st, we had used 5.19% of our appropriations for the year.
Any questions?
Just not necessarily a question, but could I get a copy of the insurance report?
Closed 2 times. Sorry about that. I'll take care of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Under our action items, item A, consider approval of the policy for hours of employment for substitutes. Mr. Carter.
Mr. Chairman, as a result of provisions of the Affordable Care Act, we would like to ask the board to consider a policy that would limit substitutes work in the school system to less than 30 hours per week. We've asked our attorney to do some research on this, and actually he's researched the policy, and if it would be pleasing to the chairman, he might want to address this as well.
I think you all have in your package a policy that is labeled file LC-G27 for your consideration. As Mr. Carter indicated, this policy would assist the board in managing its excess health care liabilities with respect to substitutes under the provisions of the Affordable Care Act. The policy would restrict persons employed as substitutes from working 30 hours or more in any work week, subject to certain exceptions. Those exceptions would provide some flexibility for the board superintendent if it became necessary to employ someone in a long-term subcapacity. And in that vein, I'll let you know that there are some regulations that will go into effect at the first part of the next calendar year, 2015. And we'll monitor this. And it looks like the board and the superintendent are exercising discretion to employ some folks as long-term subs. There may be some regulations that we can adopt to further manage that, but we'll be monitoring that. Be glad to answer any questions the board has.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got to get a motion to approve this policy as presented with maybe some ratifications later on.
So moved.
Have a second? Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Policy is approved. Item B, consider approval of the Virginia Title III statewide consortium application. Mr. Carter.
Mr. Chairman, this is actually the English as Second Language Consortium application, and the school system is asked to approve this each year in order that we may obtain the funds from the Department of Education for our ESL students.
Any questions?
Just a couple, I don't know, Mr. Carter, whether you can answer them or not. How many ELL students do you have?
I think there's about 5 right now.
The other, on the second page there, it talks about the public having an opportunity to comment. Do you know how, was this posted on the website or anything? Do you know?
I'm not sure at this point if Mr. McCann has had it posted or not, but it certainly can be.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve this application?
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion and a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. The application is approved. Under item C, consider recognizing September as the Shiori Awareness Month. Mr. Carter?
Yes, if the board, I'm sure recalls, Ms. Rowe and Mr. Galey appeared before the board last month and provided some information that you have again in your packet on Chiari associations, the disease and how it affects students, and basically they're asking that we recognize September as Chiari Awareness Month, and I'd like to recommend the board do that, and we'll certainly make sure that the schools do that as well.
Any comments, questions?
Do you know how the child is doing or anything?
Doing well, yes. As a matter of fact, I think we have more than one student in the county that are diagnosed.
I'll make that motion to approve that. Can I get a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Item D, consider approval of the Mountain Empire hearing and balance contract. Mr. Carter?
This is basically a contract that the board has approved in the past with our hearing professionals, and we just like to ask that you consider approval of this again so that we can have these folks on board to do our hearing screening and work with our students who are hearing impaired.
Is this basically what we did last year?
It is. They've changed the contract a little bit. Instead of having a dollar amount, they have a per pupil amount.
Okay.
And it should actually be a little less expensive this year for us.
Any discussion? I get a motion to approve.
Motion.
Have a motion and a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. It is approved. Item E, consider approval of the local plan for the education of the gifted. Mr. Carter?
You have a information packet in your folder, and kind of describing the letter describing the plan, and then you have a copy of the gifted plan. I do notice that Mrs. Norton is here. I don't know if she would like to address the gifted plan.
The requirements that were made and the technical review that we needed to maintain.
Right. And that's in the letter.
Any questions, comments? Can I have a motion to approve that,
So moved.
that plan? Have a motion and a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that plan is approved. Item F, consider approval of the acceptable use policy. Mr. Carter?
Actually, the board has a copy of two policies, the state policy and our local policy. The board has already approved the state policy, IIBEAE, but we're asking, there's been some revisions to our local policy, LC 101 and LC 101F. which is the signature page, basically, that the students and staff will sign along with the parent signature. So we would like to ask the board to consider approving the changes in the local policy.
Any questions? Have a motion to approve that policy?
I make the motion.
Have a motion and a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Policy is approved. Thank you, Chris, for your work on that. Item G, consider approval of the payment of the bills. Have a motion.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Have a motion and a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
So we pay the bills. Reports and recommendations of the board, Mr. Quick.
I have none.
Thank you, Ms. Jessie.
First, I'd like to thank Lee Bank at Farmers and Miners in Powell Valley for providing refreshments and the lunch for the teachers at the Friday in-service day. These and our other local businesses are asked many times to support our schools, and they certainly do. And we need to make sure that we support them, and I just urge that as much as possible that we utilize our local businesses. And I'd also like to thank the class of 1959 of, at that time, Dryden High School, and especially Fred Gibson and Ron Ely for initiating the Crusaders Helping Dryden Elementary School project.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Williams.
Just a quick, I'd like to give a thank you to here for the workers who have had to work on Pennington Middle School. If anybody hadn't seen this damage that was done up there, it was unbelievable. And I was out there just an hour or two after it started that morning, and I want to tell you that they've been on the job, and I'm really amazed. I thought that my phone would ring off from the parents complaining, and they have been very patient because classes were starting and you didn't know whether water was going to run down there all night. So I just want to thank those people, particularly those workers over in the school board office that have been working hard on that. And I know it's been a real problem for Mr. Carter there. Thank you, Mr. Carter, for all your help there. It is coming along.
I just want to quickly say what a joy it was Sunday afternoon to be in the new remodeled Smith Auditorium over at Lee High School. Such a wonderful addition for the public and for the students, and appreciate all the people and the hard work that went behind getting that done. Mr. Widener and Mr. Carter and several others that too many to name, but it's a beautiful gift and a blessing. Mr. Chairman, would you read us back in executive session, please?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go to executive session to consider personnel section 2.2, 3711A1, pending and threatened litigation, 2.2-3711A7, and student records matters, 2.2-3711A2 of the Code of Virginia.
I'm not sure I want to go. Do we have a second? Second. Have a motion to second. All in favor say aye. Aye.